This is my digital scrapbook. This is my Grandpa Lovelace's store. This is Grandpa with the white shirt and suspenders, and in front of him is Aunt Nettie and Uncle George. And this is Aunt Nettie and Uncle George and Grandpa inside the store. This is a postcard from Pleasant Valley showing the town. And this is men working on building the new bridge over the Wappingers Creek in Pleasant Valley. And my house where we lived is right there, and this is an old postcard, so it's a long time ago. This is the Lovelace Hall. It's where dances were held. It's Grandpa's hall. Here's my Grandpa and Grandma Lovelace, my mother's parents. And this is my Grandma Yeomans, and my father with the black hat, and Aunt Marion with the white hat, and the little bald-headed baby is my Uncle Carl. And this is my father when he was young. And this is Uncle Carl when he was young. And here are several pictures of my father during his Navy days while he was in Miami, Florida.
Out back on the pond, smell the conquered catfish, but your sun-brown hands are on. Put your back now.
Well, that's my father.
And I hold you in my hand.
Here's more pictures of my father
Is it possible?
with his friends and with just him.
I don't know.
They had some good times down there in Florida, young men. Here are some postcards. These postcards were sent to his parents. My father sent these postcards to his parents.
Photograph.
He sent the first two postcards to his parents, not these. These were just postcards he had. And this is my mother in her middle school class. She's the one with the arrow. This is October 17th, 1919. And here's the list of the names. If you want a list, I'll put it in the comments for you. And this is my father with Betty. And here's my mother, my grandma, and my great-grandma. And I don't know the other people. This is way before I was born. Could have been in the 1920s. And this is my grandma, my father's mother, with the gray dress. I think my mother is the lady with the white dress, but I am not sure. This is my Grandpa Yeomans, my father's father.
When I look into your eyes,
This is Betty, when my sister Betty, when she was living in Poughkeepsie when she was young. And here she is in the pot in the middle, and with her friends. I guess they were swimming. And this is my mother, and I don't know who the man is. And here's my mother again, and that's Uncle George in the center.
put your back down.
This is Aunt Donna and Uncle Clarence Bernholtz, her first husband, and my grandmother. And probably that might be Aunt Donna's wedding day.
Finally,
And this is my father.
I don't know.
And there's a couple more headshots of my father. Now this is some friends of my parents. My mother is the lady with the bangs, the second from the left. And the only other person I know is a guy named Chief, and he's the second from the right. And this is my mother with my sister Betty. And here's Betty all alone on the porch. And here's my father holding Betty. And this is my mother and my father. And this is my mother on the left and Aunt Toddy. And here's Aunt Dot, my mother's sister, with her daughter Evelyn's the little child, and then I don't know the friend of hers. And here's Irva and Freddie, cousins. And here's my cousin Junior and my mother. And Junior was Horace Bauer's son, my Uncle Horace's son. And this is Waring School in Poughkeepsie, where my sister went. And that scribble is actually shorthand. It's the way secretaries wrote notes. And this is my sister's class. She's not in the picture, but this was her class at Waring School in 1937. And this is one of my sister's friends with my sister's dog. And here's another picture of Rex the dog and the kittens. These have been taken at Rolls. And this is my sister on a pillar. And this is the dam at Dr. Rawls' place. This is Bilmar Nursery. And this is where my father worked when I was born and when I grew up. And this is my sister Betty on a bridge that's the little stream below that dam. And this is some other people. These are actually cousins, Bernice and Margie, and Uncle Charlie's, my mother's brothers, their father. He's on that bridge. And this is some friends of my sister's at the Bilmar Nursery, probably came to play and visit. And this is more friends from Arlington High School. And this is my cousin Babs and Thorne, her big brother. And this is Freddie, Irva, and Thorne. They're in the driveway where we lived at Bilmar Nursery. And there's Mrs. Rawls and her daughter Janet. Mrs. Rawls and her husband owned that property, the business. And this is Johnny Mann, Frank, and Albert Rocco, friends of my sisters. And there's my mother peeking out the window, well, peeking out the door. And this is my sister Betty when she played Abe Lincoln. And here's another picture of Betty alone as Abe Lincoln. It was a Girl Scout event. And this is my cousin Freddie at Christmas time in 1941. And this is my cousin Irva in August of 1941. And there's Irva, December 25th, 1941. This is my mother on the left with her friend Hazel Mann. That's John Mann's mother. See the muscles in your arms with another chance to swear. And this is my father working out in the fields at Bilmar Nursery. Here he is working around the house. And there's Aunt Donna in the field. Aunt Donna worked with the men in the field. There she is driving the tractor. There's my father walking behind her. There he is with the plow. Now he's driving the tractor. There's Aunt Donna in the fields again with Stan Silvernail, just goofing off. Here they are inspecting some little trees, I suppose. That's what the men did. That's what the workers did in the field. They planted little trees, and then trees grew, and then they sold them at businesses. They sold them commercially. The nursery, Bilmar Nursery, was a commercial tree nursery. They worked hard, and they sat around hard.
Wonder is it possible to finally understand? I don't know.
That's Cousin Freddie. Working with Aunt Donna. There's my sister Betty and Louise in the background. And that's Louise and Betty and me. And there we are having a picnic. This is my sister Betty. And these are the workers in the field. Now these are pictures of me, little baby me, sitting out, probably my first spring or summer. Sitting out in the snow. They always put us out in the snow, it didn't matter. They would put a little hat on us and put us out there. Here I am in the driveway, standing by a car. This is me also when I was little. It's another picture of me sitting in the snowdrift with my mittens and my hat. Here I am standing in the grass, and another picture of me. Here I am looking at the flowers, kind of stealing one maybe. Here I am sitting on the pillar. That's Louise and me in the driveway at Billmar Nursery. And here are some pictures of me out in the field, enjoying the sunshine, eating something. Getting ready to get up. That's my mother in the background. Here I am being silly, sitting on the car. This is me with my doll, Susie Q. I loved that doll. She was almost as big as I am. This is Babs and me and Gary on the horse, and then Babs on the horse, then Gary on the horse. There's me on the horse. There's me and with Susie Q again. There I am standing in the field with all the little trees. I'm laying in the grass by the trees, and that's a colored picture of me standing. This is my mother with Joan, my cousin Joan and I. This is Babs and I, getting ready to go through life holding hands. And this is my sister Betty with me. This is Uncle George with me. And this is me with Brian Rawls. And this is me getting ready to go to Easter Sunday. This is Maudie, my cousin Maudie, riding a horse. And this is her friend Tony Baghetti on the right with the hat on. And this is Aunt Dot, and I don't know the other ladies or the man. This is Aunt Dot, my mother's sister, with me, the little curly-headed baby kid, and Joan, her daughter. And there's Uncle George, Aunt Dot, my mother, and Charlotte. That's Aunt Dot's youngest daughter. And here's Charlotte with her baby carriage. And Charlotte on the swing looking back the other way. And this is her sister Joan, maybe getting ready for communion. And here's my father with some friends. And here's my family. This is my great-grandma in the chair. And then to her right is Aunt Donna with a sling on, and Uncle Carl. And in the back row is my father and Aunt Marion. Those are my aunts and uncles on my father's side. And this is another picture of my great-grandma, taken probably in the summer of 1939. She died December 1939. And this was all her children and grandchildren that were around. at a family reunion.
And I hold you in my hand. Wonder is it
And this is my
possible?
father's brother Carl and Aunt Rose, his wife, and their children.
I don't know,
And this is their son Joseph.
but I've got this soul.
This is the Presbyterian Church Choir in Pleasant Valley. This is my sister Betty, is the only one I know in that whole group.
Out back on the
This is
pond,
Betty, my sister, and Irva and Freddie, my cousins.
catfish, but your sun
And this is another picture of Betty.
Put your back down for this moment. And, I
And here's
hold
the
you in my hand.
another picture of Betty. A few more pictures of Betty.
Is it possible to finally understand?
Probably she's in high school there. This is her Girl Scout certificate, 1942, and this is the back of that Girl Scout certificate. And this is the picture of her when she was a Girl Scout.
Photograph.
And this is her
See the
high school
muscles
graduation announcement.
with another chance to swear.
Graduated from Arlington, and here's her
I would
senior,
keep you
Betty's
safe
senior
from
picture
harm.
that went in the yearbook.
Shoe
And this is
box
cousin
where you
Irva's
stay,
senior picture that went in
but I
the
can't
yearbook.
put you away.
And this is Eddie Peters. He was my sister's first husband. There they are. He's in his Air Force uniform.
Put your back
And
down
behind them are Irva and Merlin Tice, who stood up with them. And here's Betty in her wedding dress. And here's Eddie and Betty getting ready to go on their honeymoon. Or maybe he's getting ready to go back to the base. He went to fight in World War II.